So much depends on Roger Waters' dad. The dad he never had. He was destroyed in World War II, and as a result, all was sad. Especially for poor Roger's mom. She was always happy. She really had it going on. Now the house is one less person, and all she has is Roger Waters, her son. How exactly do you sum up the impact of Roger Waters' dad? Many overlook the influence that he had. First of all, it formed a void in Roger's heart, often making him sad. But it was Roger Waters' dad who really wrote The Wall. For it would not exist had he not taken that fateful fall. Roger Waters' dad would have taken his son to the park. And Roger would have smiled more. He wouldn't seem so dark. He'd buy him a pretzel in the theater after the show, and young Roger would be so happy he'd be practically aglow. And Roger's mom wouldn't seem so lonely all the time, and the whole family would spend lots of quality time. But through all the fire and smoke, all the battle raged, and poor Roger Waters and his mom's lives were forever changed. Young Roger would now endure an awkward early life, constantly being around other kids whose dads were still alive. And on top of that, his teachers all were mean. If you watch Pink Floyd The Wall, this provoked a certain scene. But for now, Roger's dad was gone, and things would never be the same, as this tragedy had struck Roger at a very young age. His future would now be filled with threatening to hit people with his bass, along other semi-violent incidents, like when he spat on that one guy's face. And if all these little things were the construction of his wall, then perhaps his dad's demise was responsible for it all. Maybe he too was thinking of scarecrows, cats, and bikes, rather than the more realistic, sometimes bleaker side of life. But Roger's dad is gone, and there's nothing left to do. His mom is forever alone now, and Roger shall be forever blue. It makes me sometimes wonder if instead of semi-splitting in '85, Pink Floyd would have made the next metal if Roger's dad were still alive. But instead, 2 years earlier, you got the final cut, filled with allusions to war along with other sad stuff. The void in a guy's heart can apparently never be filled, if before he could remember, his dad was needlessly killed. He would often hear his mother sobbing late at night, while he'd lay there in his room writing sad poems in dim light, never knowing how it feels to have a dad who loves you and keeps it real. Someone to take you to fly a kite, or teach you how to ride a bike, to feed you oranges without the peels, or take you to the zoo to pet the electric eels. Such a tale of woe is Roger's life. His dad left behind a sad and lonely son and wife. And so it's no wonder why Roger Waters screamed in the 1968 single, "Careful with that axe, Eugene."